So
Go
you
to work, go to work, go to work. You gotta love it. We are back once again. You already know you're gonna meet somebody new. We're gonna talk about some good information. And we had a legendary DJ Silky D, as you see. Ladies go first. And check this out. We have a filmmaker by the name of Jonathan Dean. How are you today?
I'm great. The coolest dude on the planet since I'm with y'all.
Go to work, go to work, go to work. Yes, I love your YouTube channel name too, Star Stud.
Yeah, well, I started off because my name is Jonathan, and one of my favorite wrestlers was Big John Studd back in the day. So then, since I was a big guy, they called me Big John Studd. So then I went to Chicago Stud. Then I went to Star Studded. So then I couldn't find Star Studded on YouTube, so I had to just cut it short with the Star Stud. So
Okay, what? That's pretty neat. Well, there
yeah,
you go. That's how
so
it
I
goes.
think what I do is pretty Star Studded. So you know.
Absolutely. Go to work. Boy, I tell you, he got a serious walk too. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yes,
I guess it's
indeed.
the Chicago in me. You gotta be serious when you walk in them
oh,
streets. You
he's
can
on the shine down. Yeah.
yeah, you can't be scared walking looking like a or sitting duck. So you
Mhm,
will get predators come up on you and they might take what you got. So gotta
mhm.
have that walk, that
Yeah.
swagger. So
Oh,
that's
that's right. That's what it's called.
that's
Swagger. Let the church say amen. No.
right.
Absolutely. Go to work. Well, I'm not really sure if you've actually met DJ Silky D in person, but I know I just introduced you to her backstage. But it's really, really an honor to have her
Impressed. I'm
in.
impressed with her resume.
Thank
She's
you.
definitely a pioneer, not just for women, but for all DJs out here. And I'm excited to even hear even more her story and
Wow.
take any advice that she has and learn, definitely from her because there's a lot to be said.
Go to work, go to work,
I
go to work.
appreciate you. I'm happy to be, to come on live and to be a part of this and your great accolades of who you are. So that's a,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Go to work. So yeah, we were talking about what it's like to be a filmmaker. And then I just learned that Silky is into film too and about to do another film, her own film. So this is really exciting that you all have something in common as well. Go to work. So
Right.
Ken, do you do
So
music too?
particulars of
Yes,
where to start.
ma'am. I'm a well-rounded, what you call a Renaissance man.
Oh,
I grew up well-rounded. My parents put me in pretty much every damn near thing they could put me in as a kid,
just
from
making sure you was
piano,
streets.
sports,
Yeah.
saxophone, anything they can get their hands into. And then my oldest brother was signed to the industry as a musician with the group Dakota Moon. And
Oh,
and then I have another brother who's an artist who did some of these paintings back here along with me.
go.
Um, and he's a plastic surgeon.
Wow,
So
nice.
yeah, so I grew up pretty well rounded, and I thank my parents for that for sure.
Amen. Go
Yeah.
to work. Go to work.
Yeah.
Wow. I see Silky
Dakota
D,
Blue
she's
is a good.
thinking deeply.
I like
I
that
know
group.
she's about to
Yeah.
say
So
something.
I'm very surprised. Dakota Blue. I am aware of that group and
Dakota Moon, you mean?
the definitely the moon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said Dakota Blue. Forgive me. Moon, yeah. But no, I'm familiar with that group, which
You
is
are great because
yeah.
they were signed to Electra Records, and I used to be their little roadie when they would play certain places, and that was my first introduction. They opened up for Tina Turner, and I used to go backstage. I saw Tina Turner. They did Destiny's Child before Beyonce blew up. They did
Right,
Hall and Oates, Fiona Apple,
right.
Tamia. They opened up for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I learned a lot about the industry and just showmanship and
Mhm.
about being excellent with my craft. That's the number one thing. With my brothers teaching me that being the youngest, whatever you do,
It's a
just be
blessing.
excellent at what you do. So
Amen.
It's a
yeah,
blessing. Yeah.
You gotta love it.
East Coast or anything that I say that's past going from Texas on out. I would say that the youth has more time to study
Mm-hmm.
music, to study these type of things, because guess what? You guys have weather that locks you in, right?
You are so correct about that.
That locks you
Uh,
in, and you
it
have
locks you
nothing else.
in, and then you have to use that good old soul music to warm you up. You might have to get some hot
Mhm.
cocoa as a kid, or as an adult, get you a nice little drink and warm yourself up next to that stereo, and that's where that real soul comes out. So yes, you are right. And being
Yeah.
there was an article written by George Will. It's called "Lost in Electronica," where he
Mhm.
talks about how boredom is where creativity starts. Because when
Mhm.
you're bored, then you want to think of something to actually keep yourself from being bored. And nowadays, kids are a lot less creative based on the fact that they have all these gadgets and gadgets
I agree.
around them to keep them from being bored. But what we had was just stick ball, and then we turned the stick ball game into a whole nother game.
Hmm.
That's right.
And 2 years later, it's a whole nother thing. It's not even called stick ball. It's called hockey. It's called lacrosse. It's called whatever new game it is. So
That's
that's what we do as Black people, for sure.
It's
absolutely.
very true because, well, from my time growing up, we didn't have all the technology. So,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
of course, our environment was different. I mean, you were forced to go outside to play. You know, you couldn't stay in.
Yeah.
They made you go outside to play, and the creativity in, I would say, in these communities was for us to create all these games and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So you're right. Everything is given to them right now that they're
Mhm.
they're taken from that already have been, then to be creative in something new.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think that every 20, 30 years a new genre starts. But that's kind of where we're at right now, I think, is when is the next new thing, new genre, creativity, period. Because you see a lot of the rehashing of the old haircuts and these kids thinking that a hot top fade is them and they don't even know who Kid and Play is. I'm like, come on now. We've been done that. We've been done the hot top phase. We've been done the skinny jeans in the 80s. Everybody wanted skinny stuff. We done the sagging stuff. We done pretty much everything. So
And
now,
they had the nurses
what's
clown
next?
skinny jeans, but skinny jeans were in the '60s. I mean, Jay's,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Mhm.
wore skinny jeans.
So
They
that's what
they had
I'm
sagging
looking
to
forward
it.
to. I'm looking forward to what's the next genre? What's the next
And
next?
that's why you're a filmmaker. So
Experience.
you're using your talent, your wit, your creativity to produce. And
Yeah,
I think
well, your payment is in the mail. You ain't got to give me all that, but yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
amen, absolutely. I thought it stands out. Your title of your movie,
Hmm.
I know is the trailer that we're going to see later on in the show,
Hmm.
but just to note that it's called High Conspiracy.
Hmm.
And I met you on Sunday on another movie set,
Right.
and the Oscars were going to happen that night. And then here's 2 days later, and they're talking about a conspiracy.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it's a high conspiracy as well.
Right. Well, the title came from people like us, people like
Mhm,
you, people like DJ Silky D. It
mhm,
comes from internet personalities.
mhm,
And what I started to see is that a lot of internet personalities, when things happen in the government and when things started to happen socially and politically, they started to lose followers. They started to get taken out. And a lot of times their page would get taken down. You have this thing called Facebook jail where you can't say what you want. So that was my inspiration. But also
mhm,
people like Tariq Nasheed, people like that who they end up getting squatted. He ended up getting squatted a couple years back and had the
mhm.
police and the FBI come to his house because
Wow.
someone called the police on him, all based on the fact that they didn't like what he says, and he's a truth teller, and he brings knowledge to truth. So
Wow.
Yeah, Tyreek,
um,
I am very familiar with him.
yeah,
And I
so.
definitely say that I've had the best. I'm probably still on their list. I'm on the FBI list, and
Yeah,
someone who is no longer here told me take it as a compliment.
right. It
Mm,
is a
Because
compliment.
when you're against the system of things and
Yeah,
you're trying to do things right
right.
and
mhm,
righteous, you
Hmm.
know, in the name
mhm,
of God, you all eyes are on you.
Right.
As Tupac
And
said.
and so
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate you understanding that,
Oh,
DJ,
mhm,
because some people they a lot of times don't want to stand up for what's right. And so this film, High Conspiracy, is about an internet personality, and I play the internet personality. And he is an internet personality who talks loud about police brutality, about the government, about everything that happens to Black people. But he also is a man of the people. So the people will get behind him, Black, white, whoever. So he ends
mhm,
up getting this following to where he's got 1 million of followers. And so he says, how can I parlay this? So he parlayed it into trying to start running for actual office. And so when he does that, the congressman who he's going to be running against, who is an older white gentleman, he ends up trying to target him for assassination. So it starts off as a day in LA, just a regular dude. He's just a regular dude, but he also is an internet personality at the same time. So it starts
mhm,
off in a day in LA, just trying to go around with his homeboy, kick it with his homeboy on his day off. And he ends up encountering a lot of pushback and a lot of snakes in the grass, per se. And some of the people that he thinks are down with him are not down with him, and they were down with the program. And even his best friend in the film, he's questioning. He's questioning everybody.
mhm.
But the film is basically about COINTELPRO at the end of the day. And
Oh,
COINTELPRO is something that J. Edgar Hoover started. And it was basically targeting Black, the
yeah.
next Black Messiah. That's
mm,
what they were looking for in the COINTELPRO. They threw little things in there like, oh, we're targeting hate groups and the KKK and Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, but really the whole thing was to stop a revolution or stop someone from sparking the revolution. And that's when they took out every Black leader, Fannie Lou Hamer, Medgar Evers, Dr. King, Malcolm X, countless people that we don't even know about, the George Jackson revolutionary, Black guerrilla family, all these different
mm,
people who are not afraid to give their lives, really, for
mm,
a change. And so in this movie, he is that potential. He hasn't reached that potential yet, but he is that potential in this film. And it's showing a struggle between, hey, do I want to be just a regular entertainer guy,
mm,
internet personality, or do I want to even take it a little bit further and take it higher up? And so
mm.
caught in between, hey, I can't end up being like them.
Wow, deep.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna play the trailer. I just want to say that Better World Productions, that's a beautiful name
thank you.
Yes.
for a production company. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Maybe we could talk about that after the trailer as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We can talk about anything.
Okay, absolutely.
JD has a problem. Today is just not his day.
Hey, you need help? Are you serious?
He has small problems.
What's up, man? You got some bread for me?
He has big problems.
Sex addiction? That's how you don't play it now?
Yes.
He wants to run for office, but doesn't know how. One thing he does know is that someone or something is after him. Is it a genuine handshake or a devious plot to assassinate one of the internet's biggest personalities?
Fuck all them pigs. They ain't shit. On my mama. Get that again. COINTELPRO is currently looking for the next Black Messiah. And another note. For this promotion, you gotta get the body count up.
The chase begins.
saying, the choice is yours.
And think all he wanted to do was score. But with the help of a few friends, he decides to take matters in his own hands to stop the conspiracy against him.
Will kill the police if I have
To discover the internet by any means necessary, directed and starring the sensational Jonathan Dee. Make sure to go and see High Conspiracy. Your life depends on it.
It's time to get to the street, man. Let's get out my life. Got your hat? I got the full box, mom. You pull this shit out. You got to pull it your stomach.
Watch it at highconspiracyfilm.com. It will change your life.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was serious, man. Go to work. Lord
Thank
Jesus.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a lot of work in that.
It is.
Right.
It was a lot of work, but I want to say, you know, when we talk about making a film, it's like going to war.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that happened was the big guy you saw me with. He ended up dying right after the film.
No.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that when you say, hey, what are the challenges that you end up having as a filmmaker? You end up having these challenges. And that's something that people have to realize when they want to actually take on this endeavor, that it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to ever be coming out clear as day as your vision, because there's going to be something that you actually cannot foretell. So you have to actually now go ahead and improvise. You have to make lemonade out of lemons. So that's what I want to say. Rest in peace, Sister Zadie Johnson, my co-star in the film.
Yeah. Was this your first one? Is this your first one?
Well, this is my first feature film. I've done shorts, and a couple years before this, I won at a Santa Barbara Film Festival for Best Experimental Film. It was called Lucid Dream. And that helped me give the confidence to do a feature. But I did a feature with a group of my friends called An American in Hollywood. And they had actors from The Wire, Hassan Johnson, J.D. Williams, a lot of people who you might have seen before in the film. And we actually got to deal with AMC theaters, and we took it as far as we could with that. But that was a group of my friends. Shout out to V Twins Productions. Those are the guys who directed the film. And I was first getting my foot in the door, learning about the process. But I've been in the industry as a production assistant. I work with Niecy Nash on the show Clean House.
Go to work.
That show back on the Style Network. So I went from production assistant to associate producer to assistant director to script.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of different things. So I'm just proud to still be here.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you said a lot that if the youth is watching, how you get experience. I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. Just diving in and doing something that I felt I would love to do. Right. And then you're able to obtain that knowledge and get that credibility or those credits onto your resume. Then as opposed to trying to do 3 or 4 years. Again, no disrespect to anybody who decided to do it in that way. But I always say the experience is the best teacher. And how
it is the best teacher. You know, I went to college and I went for broadcast journalism and radio TV at Bradley University. Shout out to Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois, which is where Richard Pryor is from, by the way. But everybody who goes to college doesn't necessarily end up doing what they went for, but that's the stepping stone to get you to where you want to go. So the
That's right.
college, I had a friend who told me, "Hey, you want to get a job? Come out here." His name is Adam Cohen, and he got me a job as a production assistant, and voila, here I am,
Go to
15 years
work.
later. So
Nice.
it's something
Nice.
that you guys got to step out on faith. There's a lot of people back home in Chicago, where I'm from, that want to do film. They want to do these things, but they may be limited because they're in a place that may not have as much resources. So they don't want to leave their comfort zone. They don't want to leave their family. And sometimes you just got to do that. I spent a couple of lonely years out here with no family. So it can be hard, but you got to persevere. And I think now I'm persevering and I'm in a successful place in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know that's so true. And I tell you, I text the Bobby Bug. I really have to get you to meet him because he
Uh-huh.
has a similar story about coming here from the East Coast. Is he from the East Coast as well? I
Yeah,
believe so. Yes.
he is.
Yeah, he has a similar story. So it's I mean, he got a real, he got another story.
Mhm.
Everybody has their own story, but
Everybody has their story.
yes, it will be a treasure for you to meet him as well.
Yeah, I would love to meet them. And, everybody has their own story, and that's why everybody can be their own filmmaker. You just
That's
have to it starts with the script,
that's right.
writing down the goal, writing down the actual storyline. And then it starts with then attaching the actors to it. Then it starts with also attaching to the crew to it.
Right.
And the number one thing I would say is get people who are passionate about film, whatever you want to do. If you want person who are people want attention, then that's the wrong thing. You want to get someone who's passionate, truly passionate about making films. People who watch films all the time and don't just want to be entertained by the film, but are looking at the lighting, looking at the camera angles, the shots, looking at how the actors are interacting with each other, looking at the chemistry between the actors. There's so much that goes into the film, the technical aspects of it. And
Yes.
so if we can actually have someone on your set who can keep all that in line, the continuity, held everybody accountable, and the more you have people who are passionate, it's going to come out better. So that's the advice I give to young filmmakers or people who maybe not be young but want to get into making films. It
Go
starts
to
with
work.
the
I have
script.
a
You
question.
know, Silky D, I have to tell you about this young man on set. I just met him on Sunday.
I know. I
And
just heard you say that. I was like, you just met him.
yes, absolutely. And this how we do. We want to support everybody. And,
Yeah.
you meet somebody and it's just like, wow, this is so great. He is an actor in the movie that we were a part of. And just to
Oh,
watch what he's saying resonates in his character. I seen that before he said what he said. I didn't have that much time to talk to him when
that's
we were on set, but we were all networking with each other and so forth. And so he asked, is it a way that you can give me an interview? Because I was a reporter I am, because it's a living, breathing film once you do it, and I'm a reporter in this movie. And when he
Did
found
a
out
great
that
job, by the way.
the way, he was smart enough to ask, well, can I have an interview?
Yeah,
And here we are.
here we are, and
hey, as they say
closed
about
mouth don't get fed. That's what they
that's
say.
what I was gonna say. No.
Yeah,
Chicago will teach you
Way
that.
of
You
making
gotta
some
step up
money.
and maximize every opportunity.
Yeah, I mean
absolutely.
that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I wanted to ask the question since you've done shorts. Um, what is the time span, the difference between doing a short and a feature film?
Ooh, um, the thing is the way I did the short is I met up with the director of the short. I was the producer of the short, and I acted in the short. And I met up with him once a week until we hashed out a script, and we hashed out how long it was going to be. And we actually said, hey, this is the amount of time, and it's based on the script. So features are usually supposed to be around 120 pages per se.
Okay.
Anything under 50 minutes is considered a short.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter as long as you actually fit it within those 50 minutes. Anything under 50 is or 45 minutes, I think, is considered a short.
Mhm.
So it depends. Like the short that I have is only 2 minutes. If you watch Kobe Bryant's, his was an animated short. It was only like 5 minutes. Dear
Right.
basketball.
Mhm.
So it depends on what you want. You know, I think that's the freedom with shorts. But with
Okay.
feature films, it has to be 90 minutes, around that 50 to 90 minutes.
Mhm.
And it has to be 120 pages. That's what you're looking for in the script. So a short could be a music video. It could be something that lasts 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It can be 20 minutes. But that the most of the festivals are looking for something within 5 minutes.
Okay.
That's what they're looking for, the festivals.
Great information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that was great information on that, because I did want to know what was the difference of a short and a long film, and whether
Yeah, and the shorts
long or
are getting a little bit more publicity now because you can enter them in these film festivals and you can actually maybe win an Oscar from a short. Whereas back in the day, it wasn't as important as the feature films and things of that nature. But people are getting deals for the feature films by doing a short. And if you can show somebody what you can do in shorthand, then
Mm.
you can show what you can do in the long run.
Nice.
So, but most of the time, what they're
into the
looking for is someone who, again, is going to complete, is going to have completion. So they look for those things to be done before they even invest in it. That's one thing that the film industry has changed, is, and especially episodics.
Mhm.
Mm.
Episodics, they're looking for 10 full episodes before they even consider talking to you about the deal because they want to see where the show is going to end up.
Mhm.
So before you even try to shop a deal for episodic, you got to have it all shot, all episodes. Now, compared to back in the day, you could just do a pilot.
Mhm. And
So,
the treatment for it.
right, and all that, and attach actors to it. Now is they want to see the whole thing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and to go forward from that, like if someone was just starting, let's say,
Hmm.
and you saying you need 10 episodes and at least 10 episodes in the can.
Mhm.
Um, how do they go about getting funding to do all of this? Is there grants? Are there, you know,
Yes.
scholarships?
They
Yeah.
have what you call film alliances. Every state has a film alliance,
Okay.
and you write the grant, and you go ahead and you actually submit all your information. The best thing is you got to have your LLC. You got to have be bonded with insurance. And then once you do that, then you can maybe even send it into SAG. But you got to pay 5,000 to get a film into SAG. And once SAG gets the film and you pay that 5,000, then they hook you up with resources. And then they can hook you up with grants. They hook you up with people that you can talk to who can actually, you can send the film to and get promotion and funding for it. But the main thing also getting funding is going to these film markets. I went to the American film market last year for my film,
Mhm.
and that's where a lot of deals are brokered. The film festivals, that's where a lot of the deals are brokered. And if you can get yourself your foot into the door with a decision maker,
Mhm.
they're always looking for new content, but also you got to keep in mind most sales agents who sell films, they're selling 2 or 3 at a time, 4 or 5 at a time to a certain distributor. They're not just going to take your film and
Mhm.
just go with your film. They're selling multiple films at the same time.
Mhm.
So if you can get with someone who already has connections, already a sales agent
Mhm.
that already knows the distributors already, that's better
Mhm.
for you in the game. But with
Mhm.
this film, I didn't really want to do all that. I went down those routes. I
Mhm.
wanted to have ownership because it would be kind of contradictory if I didn't have ownership of my film and my own website and all that for the film. And I'm talking about being an owner and a boss in the film. So
Mhm.
that's why I wanted it for generational wealth. you know, being able to have something to pass down to my kids and something that my kids can remember me by, and my fans and the people who support me. And also, it's also helped me to get other jobs. And part of why I was on the set with you the other day is because I was able to do my own films and have footage for my reel, basically.
Nice, nice. So it was a partnership.
It's a partnership. It's a partnership. You get footage for your reel, and then you get more work. It's a double-edged sword per se. So
Okay.
yeah,
Nice. Go to work.
yeah, go to work.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's good advice on that. So I'm gonna bring up the question about, you notice how you see a film and then you see all the credits,
Mm-hmm.
and how many production companies can you have to go into creating a film? I mean, or what's that all about? Is it because everyone has partner to do a film together, or is it just additional or subsidiaries of your LLC?
It's kind of both. You can have people that actually, let's say we all four of us were going to a film, and we got LLCs, and we want to promote ours. You want to promote Go to Work. I want to promote my company, Better World Productions. We may have an agreement at the end of the credits that we put our logos up and we put our films in the front of the film. And then we can meet a guy down the road at a film festival, and he says, "Hey, man, I want to distribute this film. I want to put my money into it. I want to put 20 G's into the marketing, but you got to have my logo. You got to have me as the producer on the film." So it's all about the agreement that you set up at the time. It can happen in many different ways. There's people that have just contributed money and have been known as an executive producer. So it's depending on the agreement that you have. What kind of hustler are you? You know?
Go to work. That part right there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You know, you see somebody that was wanting to play the camera. You know, he got to be an actor. And you see how DJ Silky D, she had to take a pause for the calls at one moment because this guy right here, he is way off the chain. And I was trying to be nice with him. That's why I had to put you in that solo layout to let him know, get back. Go work. You gotta love him. He's gonna introduce himself. So excuse me, really quick, while we give him the opportunity to do so. Go to work.
Hello, everybody. It's your boy Dino Brown, entertainer, coming to you live from Studio L. That's Studio Living Room.
Okay.
Usually, I'm broadcasting live from Studio B, which is otherwise known as the bathroom. But today, I'm going to spare all of you. We're going to work with the acoustics that we have.
That's right.
I really liked what you were discussing in terms of giving people knowledge about the film industry and how it works and what the different titles mean. Like the executive producer oftentimes is the person that funds the money, you know, and producers have different titles. They could be, you know, like you said, it all depends on what you work out. And a lot of individuals also don't know that, you know, sometimes film and television is used, I guess, historically was based upon art. But anytime that big business steps in the door, you know, that art then basically comes secondary to the money. So, yeah, so a lot of films, a lot of television shows, they're driven by advertising, product placement. So, for instance, like the gentleman was saying, Dean, if this was a television show and I wanted to make some money, I might have right here instead of this piece of art, I might have a Coca-Cola logo or Pepsi, Sprite, or you know, Cheetos or Nike or something up there, or I might just have a bottle of something randomly sitting right here drinking it. Everything that you see on television and film is basically driven through commercials. So the networks look for content and they have all of the corporations lined up, like all the way into the future, that are willing to pay the money because they want their brand recognition. So basically, the network's job is to find people like Nichelle, like Dean, like Silky D, like Dino Brown Entertainer, to acquire someone who's able to produce good quality content and sometimes not so quality, to produce shows and content so that they can simply insert commercials, insert commercials. And that's where they get the revenue. So, like with the podcasting game, people wonder, well, how do you get money from the internet radio? It's the same way. You have to find sponsorship. You know, people, ways in which to pay yourself. You know, you pay for the podcast and then you find sponsors who are willing to back you, support you, and maybe you wear their clothing or their hat or have different things sitting around. But yeah, that's where I jumped in. And before I go, I know I just jumped in, but hey, Dean, are you related to Swiss Beats?
Go to work.
No, I'm not. I know his last name is Dean, but no, I don't know. I might be. It could be a distant cousin, but yeah, I know his last name is Dean, and I kind of favor him a little bit. But nah, I wish. I mean, I'd be, you know, begging for some money right now.
Yeah, I actually have Podine's number, which is his, and it's not Podine, it's P-O-E, Poe. Dean's phone number. He is the uncle of Swiss Beats. So it was Siobhan, Poe, and Wadeen, the three people that created Rough Riders.
And I love BET thing they did on them. Did you see that?
For sure.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
yeah, I was the entertainment coordinator for the Rough Riders on the West Coast in Oakland.
Oh wow, man! Some legends around here.
Go to work.
So let me tell you this: I see you on TV, producing films, but the thing is, you got to get that dough. So if you want to get that dough, you got to do a show. That's why you call up Nichelle. Nichelle is the plug, and she's gonna show you love every single time from the east to the west, whether it does or doesn't rhyme. But God blesses all of us, even when I act up. But I want to say one thing: God filleth my cup, and He filleth it over, and it always lasts. But you gotta get some money with your crazy ass. I'm gonna help you do that thing, and that thing you do.
So Dino,
head ass wanna be in a movie with you.
Hey Dino, can you say Shorty can't eat no books?
Yeah, man.
Shorty can't eat no books, you know, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, does a lot of animation. I'm gonna call it animation. What he do? He do some of everything.
Hey, that's what you gotta do as an actor. That's the number one thing. Definitely number one thing. But you know, everybody who what he was saying as far as, you know, people contributed to the film, the number one rule is to never use your own money. That's the number one rule. Always use someone else's money if you can. If it's a passion project and you feel like you got to get it out there, then hey, maybe you got to do what you got to do. And you got this urge to get this thing out there. But most of the time, you're using someone else's money, and using the investors is the way you can get things done faster and quicker. So that's. You have to have a gift for gab. You have to be able to sell your film as well. If you are a filmmaker, you just can't make the film unless you're going to pay someone else. to sell it for you. So you are going to have to use what you have, use every opportunity, use every resource that you have. Like for my film, I use my brother's office. He's a plastic surgeon. I use his office. I use my other friend. He has a call center. I use his office. I use another friend's house.
So for all the ladies and gentlemen out there, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's product placement. He
Right.
just did a soft commercial right in front of your eyes.
Exactly.
My brother, he's a plastic surgeon. If you have a little bit of extra belly and you want it removed and placed in your butt, call 1-800-BIGGER cheeks. Call 1-800-BIGGER cheeks.
It's Dean Plastic Surgery.
Is that Dino? Is Dino back here?
Very creative, but
Oh my God.
We
Oh
play.
man.
But we take care of business, you see. We do.
doing it.
I'm
What
with
is a good number to have as a team?
It's not really the number, but the major parts. And the major parts meaning number one is your DP. It's got to be great. Then he has a team behind him. They're gonna have a good lighting, camera assistants, grips, gaffers. So that takes maybe 4 or 5 people. It maybe can take 2 people if they're good at what they do. Then you got to have a good sound man. That's the number 2 thing. If your sound is not right, then people will not get the full breadth of what you're trying to say and the communication that you're trying to convey. And then getting you a good AD, getting you a good production assistant. So small crews can be about 10 people. And once you get a whole bunch of people involved, then you got to pay more people.
Right, I was gonna say it's more money.
So you
Money.
got to make sure, hey, whoever I'm paying, they need to be there. They're necessary to your bottom line, and then you're gonna get more out of your investment than what you're paying them people. That's what you got to really determine.
Now, your experience in the since I mean, you've done shorts or whatever. Your first experience, I should say. Did you break even? Did you kind of really benefit from what you have?
The first experience was not. It was something that we did break even. The film was called An American in Hollywood, and we paid some actors from The Wire, and then we got to deal with AMC theaters. So it helped actually just establish the brand per se, and get people to know who we are. But it didn't necessarily make us a whole bunch of money, but it actually then gave us an actual template to go to the next film with and see what we did wrong, what we did right, and what we need to do the next film to make it better. So I would say just do it and see what happens. But when you actually do it, make sure that everything is prepared so it becomes better for you. So script, shot list, angle, everything, storyboard, everything. If you can do that, you'll be managing your time better and it'll be more organized. And then once you're more organized, then you can actually get a better product out of it. So yeah.
That was a great answer. And I also, speaking of getting a better product out of it, I wanted to definitely not talk about the slap felt across the world, but I did, but I did want to acknowledge the fact that my big bro Samuel Jackson is 73 years old. He's been in over 164 films. And because of all of that slapping and melee, Samuel L. Jackson did not have his portion aired where he received his first Oscar, and it was presented to him by Denzel Washington. They'd rather air the current top actor slapping somebody, one of our top comedians, as opposed to showing our seasoned veteran, Denzel Washington, giving his brother Samuel Jackson his well-deserved and long overdue Oscar. So I just want to say, thank you for your contributions to our culture. First of all, Brother Samuel Jackson, and congratulations on your Oscar. I think it's awesome. And I think that it's time that we collectively, like this young man is doing, create our own brands and our own system of awards. Therefore, we can acknowledge our own when they are due acknowledgement, as opposed to going to someone else's platform and waiting and begging and hoping and pleading to be acknowledged by them. See, the only reason why there's any acknowledgement of us right now is because they're hurt. That pandemic smacked them very hard. As an actor, as an entertainer, as a radio host, as a public speaker, I know firsthand what happened to the industry. It collapsed. When you close all the studios down for COVID or the pandemic, you're not producing content. And then when you tell everyone to stay home, they're sucking up all the content. Why? Because they're trapped in the house and they're binge watching television shows. They're binge watching movies that have already been done. So now they're sucking up all the content, but guess what? There's no content being created because all the studios are closed. So that's a big slap in the face. The studios are closed, the actors aren't making money, the studio owners, the producers, the directors, these people aren't making money. So, it's like uprising of all these podcasts, you notice? A lot more reality shows, a lot more of this stuff that could be filmed and discussed through Zoom. They had to make a shift. The whole industry had to call an audible. It was like, ooh, here they come.
Here you go.
Yeah, so I just wanted to acknowledge Samuel Jackson. Congratulations, and we need to do more things to applaud each other.
I was 10 years old, and as you grow up as a kid, you kind of have confusion about your consciousness as a Black person. Should I be as conscious as I am? And I heard a song by Ice Cube. It's called "Be True to the Game." Stay true to the game. I'm sorry. And the one line that really always stayed with me, which always kind of helped me have this confidence and swagger, was he says, "Hey, now ask yourself, who are they to be?" And so when you have that actual in your heart, hey, who are they to be equal to? Then you want to actually start your own thing. You want to do your own thing because you're not looking for anybody's approval, especially their approval. So you're right. We got to start our own thing. We should start our own thing right here. Our own award show right here.
Absolutely. And it is in a process. That's what I was so surprised that Dino said that. And I haven't talked to him, but I'm in the process of helping some people and with a business plan and so forth. So that's extraordinary that he said that. But sometimes when it's in the universe,
I lost audio. I can't. You guys may be able to hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what happens is we see another in motion. When someone calls your phone and you're on here, what happens is when the phone call comes in, it kills the audio for me to be able to hear you. So I'm going to leave and come right back.
I'm glad you say that because I talk about that when I'm doing events and being a DJ and having artists come and bring you your music, right? And they want to bring you your phone. And I'm one who don't accept the phone situation. Right. And that is the reason why that they don't and then they want to cuss you out because they're performing and then all of a sudden their music is not playing. Well, a lot has to do with the fact that by them putting their MP3 or MP4 on their phone and using their phone to give to a DJ to play their music for them to perform. When someone calls them, it completely wipes out all the audio. They want to go, you'd be surprised. People want to go off on, you don't know. I require definitely a drive, a USB or a drive, or email me your song. So when I play it through my Seratos or through my turntables, guess what? There is no interruption whatsoever. Right. But that happens a lot with the young generation. They just feel their iPhone or their phone is able to do everything for them to go out here and perform in front of people, and then want to cuss out or go off on the person who do production, who do DJing, or know what it's like for an artist to come and perform live in front of people, their music to you. I'm glad you say that, because that's the key reason. When I tell them, oh, well, you put it on air. No, if you put it on airplane mode, guess what? You get no sound.
Right.
Well, the Locks versus the Dipset battle. I don't know if you saw that versus. That was a clear example of what she's talking about. How Jadakiss came in there and was spitting on the top of the dome straight on instrumentals, and then they came and was doing the whole muffling and got the mic going and over their lyrics, and it didn't sound as good. So you're correct.
Yeah, because they think the phone does every darn thing. It does, but guess what? It's not compatible when it comes to professionalism. No. And you're doing live performances, or when you want to record, when you want to get out here and use your phone as a camera, right? A movie camera, right? And when people call you or people texting, and all the apps that you have on that phone interferes with whatever that you're trying to do to make that happen. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Dino, because the best way to do it is to do it right, or to accommodate, to want to make things look good for you when you're in front of the public.
That's how you know if somebody's serious or not. That's how you know.
Right.
Absolutely. Just in case Dino, I believe Dino would have jumped in by now. It was the portion where he was going to
jump in.
He was away. Absolutely. Go to work. That DJ Silky D was explaining to us how, as a DJ, when people use their phone and they get a phone call, and if they submitted their track, to the DJ, and it drops everything off of their phone because they Bluetooth it, then they get upset, but they don't realize, well, you got a phone call and it tripped everything. But they don't realize that because they're not into sound engineering or had that, it is their first time performing, so they didn't.
I like what both of these beautiful Black individuals had to say, and I wholeheartedly agree with all three of you. You two beautiful.
So I'm not beautiful. He called y'all beautiful.
Excuse me.
I put my glasses on.
He was talking to y'all, so he wasn't talking to me.
There are 4 people on.
You're beautiful too. Why does beautiful have to be connected to feminine?
Okay, so there are 4 people on. There are 4 people on here. This is like the Brady Bunch. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Out of the 4, there's 2 beautiful people.
Okay.
Now, in your own opinions, there also may be 2 handsome people, but that's your opinions. But there are 4 people, 2 are beautiful.
Okay.
Pause. We don't call each other.
Okay.
If this would have been the Dipset. If this would have been the Dipset, oh my God! If Cameron and Jim Jones and them was here, Jada right now, and I would have called this man beautiful, pause. That would have been the end of me. They would have let me have it for sure. Pause.
That is so funny.
But I wanted to say that I was on the movie set the other day, and And I noticed that they did have the whole professional setup for obviously like an iPhone 13 or something, but what they were doing was they were using it for, I guess, secondary footage. They did have the huge, professional cam, which may have been a red cam or something similar to that, the big standard camera with the mic and everything, very professional. But then secondary, they were capturing extra angles secondarily with the iPhone. And I think that the technology is definitely improving. And Dean is much more of an expert in that field than I am about the quality that it takes in order to produce something that's ready for the big screen or for television per se. But I know that we also get duped a lot as human beings because the technology is being created at a rapid pace. Why? Because the product makers are in competition with each other. So as the technology gets made, they're competing for technology to who has the better product, but the infrastructure to support it isn't even there yet. So although you may have gone out, go out and purchase the new Samsung television in 9K.
Crazy.
Well,
But the support networks of the spectrum and everything might only support up to 4K. So you're buying a 9K television and you're spending all of that money. You already have a 4K TV. The network supports up to 4K, but then you go buy a 9K TV for what? It only supports 4K, and we're being duped. Like nobody just uses their simple mind. Like you're buying stuff that's not supported. You know what I mean? So it's like saying I'm
this is not
gonna
supported.
spend an extra $20 every time I go to the pump to put 91 gasoline in my 1970 in my 1985 Datsun.
You know what it reminds me of?
You're
It
only
reminds
gonna
me
go
of
40 miles per hour in it. Why do you want the 91
right.
with the nitrous oxide in it? It only goes 40 miles an hour.
It's so funny.
Right. But it reminds me of the dude who comes to the court and he's got all the best jersey on. He got the Kobe's on, the Jordans on, but his game is not good.
Right.
And he can't make a shot.
Oh my God.
Don't
get him started. Oh my gosh. Why did he start talking sports?
It's a lot of dudes like that. And so, no, you're not supposed to use an iPhone to do a feature film. You can. You can do it, but you need more than just that. You need to be able to control the camera to get those angles. Some people put rigs, but it's not the same as actually having a handheld camera or having a professional shoot it. There's some things where you can shoot, but it doesn't look cinematic. And that's where the lighting comes in. That's where the actual grip and the gaffer come in. That's where everything comes in with the professionalism. So that's got to be there. So you don't necessarily have to have the best camera, but you actually have to have the professionalism and the storyline and the good actors. So yes, you don't even have to have all that bells and whistles to get something done creatively, but you do want to have the industry standard stuff to get you at least a good product that people want to watch. That's not green.
Absolutely.
All that.
Go to work. Absolutely. And you wanted to say, Silky D?
Well, no, Dino pretty well, he said about, being duped. I just think that you should know your specifications as well as what you already have and what it's capable to do before you buy the new. I think a lot of people just got caught up in the hype and been programmed to feel like you're replacing a new phone every year. It doesn't make sense when that new phone has the same specifications or qualifications of your phone you already have that you done paid almost $1,000 for. So why pay another $1,000 because all they added was another little camera to it, or they created a color,
That's
right? Or
Facts.
just maybe a little more gig to it when you're not going to really use it fully out anyway. I think we've got so caught up in the hype and so caught up in the brand that we don't realize that we're wasting a whole lot of money when the thing that you already have that we don't take care of and appreciate it, to know that it can last you for a good 5 years, maybe, to
and like you said, it's a lot of hype. It's a lot of hype, and it's a lot of pressure by society to have the new, because we live in a corporation. So the corporations are constantly selling us products, and in order to continue to receive money from us, to continue to have our support as participants in being purchasers and consumers, they have to somehow create an environment in which we feel less than or more than based on the products that we're able to acquire. So that's what they do. They make you feel like you're the big shot when you have the $1,000 phone that does the same exact thing as the $350 phone. It just comes in a different, prettier case. See all the bells and the sparkles and the glitter they put on the back. You know, that's where it's $700 worth of glitter on the back. And they put yours in the brass case that's made out of recycled pennies. And so, you know, it cost them $13 to make that case instead of the case that the regular one comes in. So the regular one is $350. And then they spend $13 to make the special case for your phone that sparkles on the back. And so they charge you $700 for the $30 sparkling. So your phone costs $1,000.
That is with my Android.
Right. You know, Jonathan, I wanted to tell you about this young man before he goes any further, because he is a piece of work, but I need you to know that as he's so much fun.
I'm glad she put work on the end of it. I thought she was going to hit me with the S-bomb. A piece of
Wait a minute. I'm so serious. He is so much fun, but yes, he is so instrumental in so many different facets. And for him to say this is the first time I have ever heard him say something about what he doesn't really know, because he knows so much of everything. And I just really know if there's anything that you would need some wisdom from him, because like you were saying at the top of the show, Dino Brown, the entertainer, is the one that you want to call, you know, for that testosterone, that kumbaya, that, you know, look, brother, man, blah, 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 just like you said, sister, you know, well, I have learned that you do this in a real way. Can I get an interview? I need to really know that on a real tip.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that so much, Nichelle. And I feel the exact same way about you and Silky. And your encouragement is very appreciated. And to JD, you know, we cousins now. You know, Black people, if you've been around each other longer than 7 minutes, y'all cousins. Yeah. Oh, you got a job? Yeah, I got a job. Oh, you got a job? Yeah, I got a job too. I got a few dollars and a few talents. Well, guess what? What? We cousins.
Dino, you got to give him some shack, because when he started talking sports, I thought you was clearing your voice to give him some
respect. Let me tell you this. I'm glad you brought that up, brother. There's a lot of people pulling up to the court. Charles Barkley over here is one of them with his bald head ass. They got on the Jordans. They got my shoes on. They paid a pretty penny. They got all Nikes, fancy clothes. But when they get on the court, what do? They play like Barkley over here. They can't play at all. Hey, how many rings you got, buddy? I'm a 4-time MVP. I'm a 4-time champion. Everything was going great until R.I.P. Kobe snitched on me, ruined the relationship. But that's another day and another dollar. I like what JD said. If you come to the court, I don't care what your shoes look like. You can't ball, you can't stand tall. And I'm out.
You got a little.
I'm gonna have to hire that guy.
That part right there.
Was you like that even as a kid, Dino?
You know I'm ready to work. Yeah, I'm ready to work for sure.
Yes, sir.
Dino.
Were you like that as a kid? Did you go into different characters when you were a child?
You know what? When I was a child, I was playing with G.I. Joe toys and stuff. So that's, I think, where my sound effect making comes in. Because, you know, you have to be creative. I had a sister. She doesn't want to play with G.I. Joe toys. So, you know, I have to have my own wars.
Yeah, imaginary friends.
Lord Jesus. Here you go, Silky.
Watch out! Help! Get over here! Watch out!
Silky, tell me to stop. Silky.
Well, the reason why I brought that out is the fact that any parents that are watching this and sometimes they trip out when their kids have imaginary friends, or when they, they're talking to themselves, right? There's something wrong with them, and they try to stop that, but actually it leads off into creativity and other things that you can find out about your kid when that is more so of an outlet.
Yeah, I have a 5-month-old, and babies, they come from the spirit world.
Congratulations.
Pistol children, yeah.
They're coming from the spirit world, and they're just coming straight from that world. So they may see things that you don't see. And so my daughter, she looking over at the corner, and I'm like, what are you looking at? It could be one of the ancestors she's looking at. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I tell you one thing, right? If I look over there in that corner and I hear something, but I don't see something, I tell you one thing, it's going to be trouble. Because if you decide you want to come in my house and I didn't invite you, but you come in anyway, hey, you're going to get a big surprise. And it's not the surprise you're looking for, pal. I'll tell you one thing. If I can't handle it, I know a couple of guys that definitely can handle it. You don't want to see Dino Gabazio. You know that Dino Brown, that bald-head, milk-dud-head guy. You don't want to meet Dino Gabazio. You know why? I tell you. He's a cousin of Frankie Knuckles.
Oh, good one. Absolutely. That's what makes you write so well, too, and all these jokes.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm impressed.
That's very true.
This guy's impressed up here. Hold on, I'm pointing the wrong way. This guy. Yeah, this guy up here, he's impressed. He's impressed. Am I here to entertain you? You think I'm here to entertain you? I'm the funny guy now, huh? Yeah, I tell you one thing, huh? You show me the money, I'm going to show you entertainment. I'm going to bring my own crowd. I'm going to fill up the entire stadium. I'm going to have Paulie. I'm going to have Dino Jr. I'm going to have Frankie Knuckles. I'm going to have Paulie Jr. We're going to fill up the stadium. What's that? 4 of us? It's going to be packed. I'm bringing the whole crowd. You don't have to worry about a thing. You just show up with the check. I'll take care of the rest, okay? Just don't be a prick about it, okay? I got your back. Don't you worry about nothing. Hey, this sport right here that doesn't work anymore on the top, it's broken. But hey, it adds character. Don't you judge me. Don't you freaking judge me.
I love him.
Bada boom, bada bing, I'm done.
Hey, don't break my legs. If I pay you in pennies, don't break my legs.
Hey, break your freaking leg over there. Did he cuss? Hey, did he cuss on national television? Hey, somebody call Will. You got Will's number? We got another one over here. Hey, no, get Chris out of the way. His face is ready for surgery. We got another guy over here. He just cussed on national television. Yeah, call Big Willie.
You gotta love Dino. He is so much fun. Lord Jesus.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think of probably the next. Well, thanks, Dino. Yeah, I was gonna, just bring out some questions about filmmaking. Now, did you ever go to school at all besides your experience of working in the film world? Did you take any study whatsoever? Or would you recommend some
me or Dino?
You, Mr. Dean, yes.
All right. I went to school. Yes, I did. I went to Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. It's the same town Richard Pryor is from. So I went for radio, TV / broadcast journalism. So I won some awards doing that, and I learned a lot. I did an internship down in Orlando. And what it helped me do is it helped me learn how to edit and create stories and follow through with the stories. Learning how to shoot B-roll, learning how to look at the whole location and how to shoot a location. It's taught me a lot of different things with lighting and things of that nature. It taught me the basics, but also it gave me the connections. And so I would say if you're looking for connections and you're looking for the right connections.
There he goes again. This is national TV. Don't you see right up there? It said live. You're talking about the connect. You're going to get us all whacked here. Keep that on the under. Ain't that what you guys say? You freaking, hey, keep that on the under. Don't say anything about the connect. Jesus, you trying to get us pinched?
He's such a good one.
But yeah, I mean, going to college.
Keep pointing the wrong way. I gotta get it together. Hey, this way, that way. Hey, oh, hey, tomato. Hey, right?
Right.
But you don't have to. You don't have to go to school. You don't. You are a person who knows how to meet people, knows how to network. I would say do that. It's just a stepping stone and the basis of what got me here in LA. But it's not the end all be all. Again, it starts with the passion. It starts with you being knowledgeable about what you're doing and knowing how to keep an audience going. That's basically what it's about. Keeping the audience going. You don't need school for that.
That's right.
You really don't. But it helps you. It helps. Everything helps.
All right. Okay. Now, as far as scripts, did you write one yourself or you shopped?
Yes.
What is the least market in shopping for a script?
When you say the least market,
like money, like a script writer, like how much is a script writer worth? Like what is the least?
Oh, okay. It depends on the agreement that you have and what your budget is. Most script writers who have done it before, they're going to take or start at a basis of what they got for their last film. So if they got 10,000 for their last film, they're not going to go under that. They're going to tell you that when you actually go and say, hey, this is what I want, and can you do that? They may work a deal with you. It's all about the deal you're willing to work with the person. There's no set anything in this industry, especially when you're doing it independent. You got
it's all
SAG.
negotiable.
Yeah, it's all negotiable. Now, once you get it into SAG and you want to start using SAG people or WGA,
it's no longer negotiable.
It's not negotiable.
There's a set industry standard, and you can look it up on the internet and find out what that is when you're dealing with that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So that's another thing that the gentleman JD brought up. Like a lot of people want to go join SAG after and all of that type of stuff, but they don't know that that will then it may assist, but it can also hinder because some people will simply not hire you for their independent film because they know that once they hire you and you're a part of the union, they have to pay you at least the minimum. And that's industry standard for them. The minimum that they have to pay you may exceed the budget that they have for the film. So then they can't use you. Just like if you notice Straight Outta Compton, why do you think they use the actors and stuff? These people are people you never saw before. It's a lot of people that look similar, and you could tell their acting skills. Like these weren't seasoned actors. You know, every once in a while you'll catch them like saying stuff like, "Hey, man, if you do that again, I'm gonna have to Will Smith you. I'm going to cock my hand back like this and going to sound real robotic and unrehearsed because I don't want to mess up the lines as opposed to understanding it's more about the feeling. The people out there in the cinema land don't know what's on the script. They just know the feeling they get when they hear me trying to make sure I say every word that was on the script." You feel me, JD?
Yeah, I feel you. There's a lot of people like that. And when you were asking what's the numbers, there's ways you can work out deals. There's people who take deferred payments. There's people who do stuff where you give them the first half and then give them the other half when the film is done or the script is done. It's all types of ways you can make it work. It's just about what you're willing to do and how much your budget is. But again, if you're working with other people's money, it makes it a lot more easier. But when you're working with your money, you're going to start cutting corners. You're going to be looking for the cheapest person or the person who's going to work with your budget. And that sometimes conflicts with the product being the best. So you have to decide. And then it's all about who you know. You get a person that you know has written a script before and you know this person and you cool in the game with them, you can actually go ahead and set it up with the least amount of money possible.
And some creative.
I tell you one thing, can you still hear me?
Yes.
The last person cut a corner on me. He's sleeping with the fishes.
Oh Lord. It's too funny. Something else that's creative is, just like notoriety that you have. For example, somebody that's listening or will listen, the suggestion would be to contact you, and if they're a script writer or AD or someone that just wants to work with you because of your legendary status, and know that you will have other people with legendary statuses and have that work ethic that you're looking for. They understand the criteria and what the high expectations would be. Then if they happen to have a product of their own to put into your, whether it's a short film or a feature film, that would be one way to make a deal with you. Possibly you were to oblige them. So go to work.
Yeah, go to work. That's great advice.
Somebody smart that's listening would definitely, DM you on Facebook or on Instagram. Really go to work.
Go to work.
In other words, how can someone get in touch with you or contact you in
me? You said me?
Mr. Johnson.
Really go to work. We
looking for.
We all family. We like, who are we talking to now? Go to work.
Projects.
You can email me at starstudded. That's STARSTUDDED 743 at gmail.com.
I'm sure everybody got that. It was like, hey, we gotta get this information, man. I'm gonna be a new actor. I'm gonna be a big star in Hollywood. Go and grab a
pen. Right. There you go.
Okay. Now tell me what it is. It's 1/4-BJH 7248 8165 cross dash plus jump rope at 4821 78b-yahoo.com.
He is so funny.
Wait a minute, bro. You gotta give it to him again, JD.
I got
That man, that man email address is as long as a CVS receipt.
Lord, he is so funny. Indeed, to contact the filmmaker, as you see here, Jonathan.
Oh my God.
Email is located below. starstead743@gmail.com. Go to work.
There you go. Send your
put my Instagram up here for me, please.
Okay.
Dino Brown Entertainer on Instagram.
Yes,
you don't have to put dots or none of that. You could just type it straight in. And make sure you don't go to my fan page. I notice my fan page is building up because people think they following me, but they following the fan page. And then because see, I'm really sensitive. Ever since Don King and Robin took all my money, I've been very, very sensitive, even though I'm a top-ranked fighter in this society. So what happened is they went and they created a fan page in honor of me, right? But the thing is, we're using the same name. They just put fan page in the back. So people think they're following me and they're following the fan page. They're not even following me. It's ludicrous. Does that make any sense? Hey, I'm asking them, did you see my post about I'm going to be in a film with JD? I'm all excited. I'm gathering all my friends to come and support me. And then the thing is flop because nobody saw it. Nobody saw me post it because they're all following the fan page. Nobody following my page. You got to go to my page. I'm the principal. You don't follow the extra and not follow the principal. I'm Mike Tyson Jr., Senior Dino Brown Entertainer. Go to my page. Make sure you're following me, not just the fan page, okay?
Okay.
It's absolutely ludicrous.
Oh my God. You gotta
tell Don King I want my freaking money or I'm gonna break his face.
No, we don't promote violence
Did
here.
you see
These
somebody
are
pull a
movies,
gun on him?
actors, comedians go to work, music artists go to work.
Somebody pulled a gun on Mike Tyson.
Well, no, it's been a real honor. I know I'm about to exit stage left.
Okay. Well, guess what? I'm gonna follow you. You won't exit before I exit. Let's run to the exit. Hey, she got a gun. Run.
Lord Jesus, Dino is too much. Go to work.
Yes.
Well, thank you for definitely joining us here today. The
No
one
problem.
and only legendary DJ Silky D, Jonathan Philip Dean. Go to work now. You're AKA JD.
That's right. You know, it always ends up happening. That's why I tell people in the beginning, my name is JD, because it ends up people just automatically end up calling me JD.
JP. Do
So,
they say JP?
No, just straight JD, because they don't know my middle name. But that's my entertainment name. But go to my YouTube, Star Stud, STAR space STUD, and you can see my work, show and prove, films, short films. I have a series called Still Got It. It's a basketball series. I have one called Trace Photos, and it's about the importance of actual real photos compared to keeping photos on your phone. So someone comes on and they actually take out 3 photos from their phone and they give a candid interview about those photos. And I have lots of other content, music videos, vlogs. So yeah, check me out. I'm an entertaining dude. I mean, I'm not Mr. Impersonator like Dino. I definitely have some stuff that you'll be interested in, and I'm from Chicago, so it'll give you a different perspective.
Yeah, what part of Chicago?
The South Side.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have family from Chicago. I mean, they still live in Chicago, so that's why I
Yeah.
asked that question.
Born
How
and raised.
that?
So yeah, I love
Isn't
it. A lot of
this is
talented
It's
people.
in Oak
A
Park,
lot of talented people from Chicago.
right?
Mhm.
We have a
Absolutely.
whole nother show about that.
Absolutely. Well, definitely you are welcome back as always. And definitely I know that Silky D, she's going to work. Just like we all we gotta
That's
go
right.
do some kind of work. Because to do some kind of work, you will be successful.
Right.
Absolutely. So it's persistence, persistence, and we work at our optimum level when we get our rest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you. I'm looking at hey, you're a filmmaker and a greater filmmaker. The more years to come of you doing what you're doing, and the beautiful part of independency is that a lot of actors as well as filmmakers get discovered
Mhm.
and well known. So I commend you. I you know
Amen.
Thank you, Silky. And
that's fine.
we definitely love the support over here. And trust me, you have someone who's passionate about the art. It's not about the clout or attention
I
or
appreciate
trying to
that.
be famous or rich. That's all that stuff is the fruits of the labor. But at the end of the day, excellence is what I'm after, and entertaining people and making sure that they are happy with what I do. So trust me,
Yes, I
I'm gonna give my
appreciate
best.
you. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Mhm.
I'm looking at as far as our people and our culture. I really would like to see where it just overflows
Right.
Yes.
with history, with the
Mhm.
knowledge, with the inspiration of us, ought to be
Mhm.
on the same playing field, right?
Right.
Amen.
Because of course, our stories have been told about us for
Mhm.
years without us telling our own stories or
Hmm.
really getting the actual truth on top of that.
Well,
And
that's why I did this film. It's set in 2010, and not a lot of films are going back to that era of last decade when
Right.
Trayvon Martin got killed and all
right,
these things where the actual phone, that's where the phone became important in our struggle and important in our liberation. Because people
Mhm.
started to see the racism for what it really was instead of us saying it and people doubting it or saying, oh, you're lying or this, and that. So this film is talking about something modern day, and it's talking about you, Miss Go to Work. It's talking about you, Miss WD, internet personalities, people who want to stand up for something. Hey, and at the end of the day, you just got to stand on your word.
That
yes,
part right there. Go to work. And that ties into your production company's your name of your production company.
Yeah, it started off with my boy Durante McClendon. It was called Better World Advertising. When I first came out here to LA, we did
Mhm.
an advertising company where we did door to door, and we did door to door for a karate school in Eagle Rock, and we ended up, not necessarily continuing on with the business because we were like 21 at the time, and we didn't know what to do per se with the business. And so once I started this production company in his memory, he's not gone or anything, but just what we built, I continued on. So
Okay.
beautiful.
Beautiful. Better World Productions.
there you go. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's what it's all about, making the world better with your imagery. The imagery of the black man has to be up on par so that we
Mhm.
can make the world better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Go to work and supporting one another. So I know you have your comrade that's going to come on the show tomorrow. So
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to come to the show. I will definitely send you the link as well.
Okay. Send me
Okay.
the link and I'll stop through it and give him support.
Absolutely. Go to work. All right. Well, the one and only legendary DJ Silky D. Once again, thank you so very much for
Oh
coming.
yeah,
Thank
and
you.
the hip hop police.
Oh, that hip hop police.
We're
That's
both
who's
in
coming
it.
on tomorrow. Yes.
We're both in it. So
We're in that movie, so we're promoting it. Go to
Oh,
work. Go
yeah,
to work.
make
Go
sure
to
I get
work.
the link. That's right. Go to work. It's
Matter
been
of fact, I'll send you our the scene that we're in together.
nice.
Okay,
Well,
I'll send it to you
everyone
right
have a
away.
blessed evening and thank you for all your knowledge and
thank you as
leaving
well.
it out for the youth that is listening so they know, what avenues they need to get to because information is powerful. Most
Knowledge is power. Yeah.
and, right. And you know, a lot of them just jump into it because they just see it. But I'm glad that you know, you put out, or I asked the questions for them to understand how to get from A to B or where to start in any type of way. I appreciate you on that.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Likewise.
Well,
Likewise. Well, everybody, go to work. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, go to work.